I always feel most alive when staying in exposed locations. I enjoy being up against the elements and experiencing life from different perspectives. Pennon is a small seaside village situated in the northeast of Scotland. I have visited here many times over the years, but I've always dreamt of staying here and experiencing what it's like to live literally on the sea's edge. I've never felt drawn to staying here during the summer. Of course, it appeals idyllic in the summer, with blue skies and a sea view, but it is the winter that's always drawn me here. You see, Pennon has to be one of the most exposed villages to live in Scotland. At one side you have to contend with the crashing waves coming in from the sea, and the other, a cliff face prone to landslides in bad weather. You are literally sandwiched between two of nature's strongest forces. If this wasn't enough, the only entry and exit to the village is down a very steep and narrow road that is cut into the cliff face itself, unless you want to arrive via boat, of course. To me, this is therefore the perfect place to get away from it all and truly feel the full force of nature. Thanks to the wonder that is Airbnb, I got the chance to stay here for 3 nights recently. There aren't many houses in Pennon, only a single line of houses that congregate along the shore's edge, so I felt very fortunate to be able to spend some time here. The weather was relatively tame during my 4 days here. Despite this, at high tide, you could really feel the force of the waves hitting the wall that lined the shore. It struck me just how solid the houses are here. The walls are very thick, and within the house itself, you were not fully aware of the elements that awaited you outdoors. Each house is built with the gable ends facing the sea to reduce exposure to the elements. I could only imagine how wild it must be living here during a storm. When you're here, you really feel like you're on a movie set. Pennon was the main filming location for the famous 80s cult film Local Hero. There is something so special about this village and its blockbuster past that made staying here even more magical. This magic was enhanced when I watched the film itself one evening and realised the house I was staying in was in the film itself and right beside the famous hotel. It always occurs to me how much a film can affect and inspire people, and here I was staying in the very place this famous film had been made. I had a real moment of genuine gratitude. There is no phone signal in Pennon, which further cuts you off from normal life. This is something we rarely experience nowadays. Some may panic, but for me it adds to the experience and allows me to further connect with nature and the basics of life. Due to its connection with the film Local Hero, the main reason people come to Pennon is to see and use the famous red telephone box. The original box is no longer here, but the BT phone box draws people here to connect with loved ones from all over the world. Unless you want to walk up the steep hill to get mobile signal, the only means of phoning people from the village is using a landline. The phone box therefore doesn't just have a fun connection with Hollywood, It is a lifeline for many. The world can be a crazy place, but coming somewhere like this always reminds me how great it is to be away from mainstream life. It may be a hard life here, but it is simple in many ways. You are always battling the elements, but over time I imagine you learn to work with Mother Nature. This is a skill I feel so many lack in the modern day world. When was the last time you switched off and just sat and watched the waves? Although I recognise I'd find it hard to live here full time, it is rejuvenating to spend some time somewhere like this. You feel inspired to create, use the sound of the waves to send you to sleep at night, and spend more time connecting with yourself. There are little distractions here, and I found that so powerful. I did no photography during my 4 days here, but I felt inspired to create this video, to read good books, to watch films I've always wanted to watch, and walk amongst the elements. You will never grow in life without changing your perspective, and places like Pennon certainly allow you to do that.